Tennis Tournament Wimbledon paid pandemic insurance for almost 20 years. Now it's getting $141 million. Advantage Wimbledon. Wow, till pandemic insurance is a specific thing. Funny how Wimbledon had the foresight to do this but not anyone else. Not even other organizations/businesses that would be fatally impacted and irreparably damaged by pandemics. Wow, they're still projected to lose £100 million. Really puts things in perspective. It's almost like they were prepared, huh? Someone with foresight. Big Tennis played the long game. Too bad they spent so much on alien invasion insurance as well. Wonder how the payout compares to the premiums they paid across 20 years. Let's not forget that Wimbledon has the ability to do this. I looked at going last year and nosebleed seats for the first day were over $1,000 apiece. So I called American Express to see if they had any member-specific seats. They did. $10,000 a ticket for the first day. Tennis is a game with lots and lots of money. The guy who got ridiculed for authorizing that insurance plan for the last 17 years has got to be feeling pretty damn smug right about now, and rightfully so. LOL, I bet that insurance company shit themselves as soon as COVID broke out. I didn't even know that pandemic insurance existed. Interesting. How do we make Wimbledon president? Till the Wimbledon is behind the Rona. Smart people. Tennis folks. Since SARS in 2003, we knew this was a possibility. But 99% of governments and companies forgot. Just shows how incompetent they are that a sports tournament managed this risk better. In Switzerland, a lot of restaurants had an insurance for lost revenue in case of an epidemic. Now that COVID-19 is a pandemic, the insurance companies will not pay because their contract didn't include this situation. No need to cancel it. Tell the players they have to play all their shots from the baseline, the referee's not allowed to come down from his big chair, stick a royal couple in the seats at one end and Cliff Richard at the other, bish bash bosh, you've got a tennis tournament. And I was so proud of myself for checking the new car replacement box on my insurance form when my car was stolen last month. Well played Wimbledon. How much did 20 years of insurance cost them? They started investing in pandemic insurance the year after SARS hit. I love it when insurance companies have to pay up. Not to say they're inherently evil businesses. Just feels like sticking it to the man. I'm curious to what the cost per year for pandemic insurance is. I'm guessing their premium is going to rise next year. I bet this was reviewed every year. Imagine if someone had made the call to finally cancel it last year after realizing they were coming up on 20 years and felt they'd never recoup the cost. On the flip side, someone probably advocated for keeping it. Whoever that is must be feeling pretty great. Do you think the insurance policy has an insurance policy? Next headline, Wimbledon's insurer files for bankruptcy, does not pay out. I love how Wimbledon was more prepared than the White House. Heh. Foresight. We might find a few more major events buying this kind of insurance for the next several years. I have a bet that if it was inexpensive in the past it may become more expensive for a while. Win. That's oddly specific insurance. What next? Alien invasion insurance. Imagine being the guy that had to explain every year why we're still paying for pandemic insurance. Years ago to include the infectious disease clause following the worldwide SARS outbreak in 2002. The club's Risk and Finance Subcommittee is charged with assessing all potential risks to the annual tournament, including global pandemics, terrorist attacks, and even the death of a monarch, which would thrust the country into a time of national mourning. Makes sense, especially if you have a risk committee in place whose job is to identify potential risks. I've heard it said that the biggest difference between the rich and the middle class is insurance. Once you have the wealth, insure against any scenario where you would lose it. Wait until the conspiracy theorists get a hold of this. Wimbledon created coronavirus for insurance money. When a tennis tournament is more prepared than the US Gov. SMH, Wimbledon was more prepared than the US government. Let that sink in. Like imagine the random guy that invested in masks and gloves. Fucking time travelers taking our insurance money. Insurance companies are criminal and evil, so any news of them forking our millions is good news. So that's why Allianz Insurance is going bankrupt now. Perspective. How much have they been paying for other types of insurance? I can't really say that they've earned it, as that's an odd phrase given the situation, but they certainly deserve the results of their prudence, their good example, and, hopefully, outcome will no doubt prompt many other businesses to follow suit going forward. I feel like $141 mil seems low for an event of this scale, the one institution that was prepared for this pandemic. I'm just surprised there wasn't exclusion due to pandemic in their pandemic insurance. A tennis tournament was more prepared for a pandemic than my own country. Wimbledon be like, they called me crazy. They called it a waste of money. Who's laughing now? They'll drop them as a customer starting 2021. Am I supposed to be mad at am insurance company having to pay out in their hustle for once? I bet next year's premiums won't be nice, rolling on the floor laughing. Wimbledon has umbrella insurance for any interruption. Keep in mind that they don't have to do anything else. Just pay a premium. So comparing their foresight to every government on earth doesn't make sense. There's one misunderstood executive from way back when that probably got laughed at for suggesting it and is suddenly chuckling to themselves about how they were right. Won't the insurance company try to weasel out of it? I mean, that's part of what they do. I haven't had anything but required vehicle liability insurance for over 20 years now. The money I saved bought me a brand new 2020 Toyota Tacoma. I figure even if you make a claim, the insurance company will raise rates to get their money back over time. So what insurance are you paying for anyway? It's a scam. Better take out a small loan if needed, rare chance, than paying monthly premiums whether you need it or * much more likely, not. Hold up, I could have had pandemic insurance. Premiums are probably through the roof now. Holy moly. Hands down for them, paying every month for the last 20 years. Came out ahead or in the red. I wonder how much their premiums are going to go up after the payout. Who knew there was pandemic insurance? Someone's been playing Plague Inc. I see. Nassim Taleb would be proud. And I can only the insurer paid out without a single gripe/s. Pandemic isn't a certainty. And when your revenues are more than 100 mil any year, it makes sense. The CEO of Pandemic Insurance RN, https:// Imager.com/G95I0C. GIF. This reminds me of the volcano insurance episode on Family Guy. Now that's foresight. How much is that relative to the operating costs of Wimbledon? Getting some major 12 Monkeys vibes, lol. That in turn that checked that box is getting theirs. Wow. They asked WCGW for real. Rip their premiums, lol. Tennis is a classy sport with a massive bankroll. I'm not surprised, good on them. If you follow the money, it's clear big tennis was behind this pandemic. Wimbledon is a big event. 141kk surely helps, big loss nonetheless. I bet the rates go through the roof next year. I imagine if everyone paid for pandemic insurance, the insurance companies wouldn't be able to pay out.